Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our next finals matchup in the fight for redemption. I'm Style24, and I am joined by the wonderful Chef Billy. Now, we are moving into our rookie division, which is a step above beginner, and we have Team DD facing off against
Limit Break.
Limit Break, right. I was trying to find their spot and their record in the lineup. It looks like Limit Break right now is riding a 4-game winning streak, whereas Team DD only on, I think, a 2 or a 3. But based on our gentleman's agreement, I will be in support of Team DD, and you are, of course, there for Limit Break Gaming.
Indeed, and we did see Team DD in one of our previous matches tonight. It was about 4 or 2 matches ago, I think.
Yes, we got to see Team DD face off against VCG, I believe. No, against Scuff Shock.
Scuff Shock, yeah. They took down my Scuff Shock. I thought that they were going to have a nice run going into the playoffs here, but apparently not. So we have this for our finals, Team DD versus Limit Break. And what we saw from Team DD, we had, I believe, the Ana. And
yes, Team DD had the Ana as well as Why Not on the Reinhardt, who was an absolute stellar play there last time around.
Indeed, a lot of Reinhardt doing Reinhardt things, being very enabled by the support core to go ahead and get in there and just swing with impunity. We love to see it. We also saw, I think, a Genji coming out of them, if I remember correct. I know that SDK Summer played the Echo a lot, and I believe it was on Night Market that we saw them. Getting a lot of value on that. The duplicate wasn't as good as they may have wanted to have it, but I think it was more to duplicate and keep yourself alive and then get back into the Echo form.
Well, as we head into Lijiang Tower and not Night Market, we're going to be kicking things off. Both teams currently showing the Symmetras.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1.
Let's see what we get. Neither team, however, using the teleport out of spawn tactic. Just going to go ahead and foot it all the way to the point. Oh, using that teleport to get up and through that wall, that window. But that was a huge mistake because Limit Break was just waiting under that window.
Yeah, they were. And I mean, they destroyed that teleporter really quickly as well. So not really able to get their full team on there. The pin coming out of Alex, though, is what really set that off. And then Daedalus just having his way with the hyperspheres. Yeah, this is going to be a hotly contested match. I think Talleyrand, is going to go ahead and swap over to the Reaper. So you're going to have a Pharah Reaper bringing the damage in. And I like this kind of rotation that they're going to take, bringing the fight from 2 angles.
Gotta use the pincer move whenever you can. However, these Symmetra turrets on point going to be made quick work of, but they get enough damage and enough distraction to allow chaos to set in. Alex as well finding a double kill as Limit Break has another substantial hold.
Indeed, and I mean, look at the ultimate economy coming up. Falco Drac with the nano boost. I think you're going to want to pump that into chaos to really get the ultimate economy going up for their Reaper. However, I mean, they're falling way behind as far as ultimate economy. Nothing up on the board for the side from Team DD. And you've got a photon barrier that's going to deny a lot of damage coming in.
Yeah, and with those Symmetra turrets up, Pharah are going to have an extremely difficult time finding entrance frags or any way to get into the point and into the fight. You see the barrage come in from SDK. Does find Alex there at the very end as Chaos gets the best on his counterpart, Talleyrand, on the Reaper. Now with that photon barrier on the point, they have some extra shielding that they need. In the back line, however, SDK getting kind of left behind.
Indeed, but I mean, I like the aggression being shown here by SDK, getting on the point. Unfortunately, losing life, and a Death Blossom coming out from Chaos picks up 2. You love to see that.
You love to see it indeed, especially because it allows you to save so many ultimates.
Agreed. So, what we're going to look for coming in from this next fight, I think that Team DD really, gosh, you're pulling out the Bastion on Gardens, Nani.
What? Let's see what if they're able to set SDK up. Definitely a strategy that we have not seen yet today. Shatter available. There goes the Amplification Matrix and the Valkyrie for Team DD as they desperately fight to try and get this point back. They have a couple of kills, but a sound barrier from Malice Knight is going to allow them to stay in this fight. Bastion now getting into the Immortality Field and on to the point, the damage being dealt. Photon Barrier keeping a couple of Symmetra's turrets alive. It looks like just dealing with this Lucio should deal with a point take, but the respawns are going to warrant a little bit more action, but the nano boost from Falco gets used.
Oh my goodness, I mean, 95% gain by the side from Limit Break there. I kind of question the Bastion move, but I mean, if you're going to pour all of your resources into said hero, you're going to get a lot of value out of it. Talaran coming up very close onto a Death Blossom. I want to see a sleep from Falco Drake. I want to see what they do to counter the Bastion here.
It also looks like they're positioning SDK in such a fashion that if they try and use that teleporter in through the window strategy, he'll be there to just kind of destroy it. So Shawanda gonna go ahead and recognize that the Symmetra no longer viable. We'll be switching over to another hero that we haven't seen much of tonight, Junkrat.
Indeed, and I mean, I love the Junkrat pick. I think the tire would be something that is going to be needed to dislodge the Bastion. If you can even get the tire in on him when he's in turret form, obviously pumping out so much damage. But the ultimate, I mean, you're going to have tank configuration. You're going to have Death Blossom online.
A lot of ultimates. You know, that Earth Shatter as well as the Valkyrie, the Amplification Matrix. Man, words, names, things, English. It's very difficult right now for me. But you know it's not difficult? Death Blossoms. Press Q, watch your Reaper spin in a circle, and the kill feed becomes yours. Talaran able to find his way into a much-needed spot in the kill feed. However, SDK going to be committing a very late tank configuration.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, I think they wanted to really secure the fight win there and send everybody back to spawn as they're closing in on 65% of ultimate char or of capture progress. This Shatter needs to land in a way that it takes SDK out of the picture. Where can they line up to get this off and not allow him to just sit there and just rain hell into him?
Well, they're going to start things off with a Shatter, but the Shatter is just a distraction as the Reaper comes in the back with the Death Blossom, finding SDK out. The Graviton now to keep the entire team together with a Nano Boost onto Alex, keeping him barely alive. But not for long. Why not finding a double kill and putting DD one step closer to finding their way into the playoffs.
Indeed, I mean, this is absolutely going to be final fight territory, however you put it. Daedalus needs to get this Gravitic Flux up. It needs to be huge, and they need to really combo the tire underneath of it.
That tire going to be an ultimate that is imperative in this fight, and they're going to go ahead and commit it onto the back of this Gravitic Flux. It's going to find the Immortality Field, so that's not going to be too advantageous for them, but Daedalus finding SDK Summer means a big amount of DPS for Team DD is no longer in the equation, and so is in most of their team, and that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. 99% built up for Team DD before they lose control to Limit Break, and nobody is there for the overtime touch.
Oh my goodness, Limit Break coming out with the huge Shatter there in the end and the sound barrier to keep everybody up. That is what you love to see. It was, I mean, as close as you like. Man, Limit Break stamping their ticket into the playoffs.
And that's another team that's very happy to see themselves moving on to what's going to be a very difficult battle once they get into the playoffs, but a very hard-earned position there with Limit Break Gaming. I believe they're going to that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a 5-game win streak to put themselves into the playoffs.
I mean, you love to see it. I mean, that's, we were talking about this in one of our breaks. When we get to this level of where the seedings are at, it's really based off of map points. So the skill level may not be as wide as the earlier rounds may have been, but still 5 matches in a row for Limit Break to stamp their ticket into the playoffs. That's a pretty impressive feat.